Lizcastology.
Hello and welcome to a tiny-sode. It's the Lizcast today, which means I'm in control and everybody has to deal with it.
We just have to. We have just to sit here and smile.
Yeah, and go,
I'm not
cool.
going to be smiling.
You are right, Liz.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. That's what today is for. So I'm Liz Best. I'm here with my sour-faced co-commentators today.
Zane C. Weber.
And
Nick Bleeker.
so today's little curated tiny-sode, I've got podcasts to help you calm your farm.
Well,
I love
Liz,
this.
Yes.
what if I don't want to calm my farm?
I came up against this problem when I was curating this list. I was like, I don't want to do the work this week. I really don't.
I just want a podcast to do the work for me.
They haven't
yeah.
made that yet.
How
Yeah,
to.
sorry.
How to podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, how to, I don't know, what would you call that? How to
Outsource your emotional labor.
Yes, that's
I
brilliant.
guess
I
get
love
married, right?
it. Oh, gross. No, thank you.
Tough.
Toxic relationships with Zane.
That's a great podcast too. Okay, so I've kind of curated. I was going to do a top 5, but then I couldn't remember the name or what podcast it was that I used to listen to calm myself down, and I didn't because I threw my podcast device across the room when I was having a tizzy last week. The first one that I've popped on there, which was a Zane recommendation, was Tiny Leaps, Big Changes. That has become one of my biggest go-tos because it is so well curated, a personal development podcast. The titles of the episode tell you exactly what they are. They discuss the theory behind it and then give you some tips at the end, and it's short. And when I'm having a bit of a flip the fuck out moment, it's easy to digest. Like I can't, it's bite-sized pieces for the stressed out mind, which is also a good podcast
But it's
title.
also like you just don't have to trust them. Like they show you their work.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do. They give references in a way that doesn't make them feel like they're doing footnotes. Like it's just, it's there. And I am quite confident that this is a good choice because I told my psychologist mother about it. Well, I didn't tell her. You told her via the podcast. She
I
listens.
did.
She listens. And she
Hi,
actually,
Liz, the psychologist mother.
and she recommended it to a few clients. Like she thinks it's
Wonderful.
great.
Yeah.
So that one's hosted by Greg Clunas, and it's simple strategies you can implement into your life to start moving the needle forward towards your biggest goals. Now, when I'm freaking the fuck out, normally I do tend towards self-help to figure out my brain. Sometimes, though, I don't want to do the work. And when I don't want to do the work, I like to try and be mindful, but I am bad at this. So there's a podcast called The Mindful Minute that I started listening to. And it's kind of if you're a meditation professional, like, don't bother with this podcast because this is purely meditation for noobs and beginners and everything like that. And it's all based around the fact that meditating for the first time can be really intimidating. Like, what the fuck does breath work mean? Like, what do you mean? Like, what is this?
How do I relax my neck?
How do I relax anything? So Meryl Arnett of the Mindful Minute podcast takes you through simple and concise guided meditations that allow you to get out of your own head and your own way. They're between 5 and 15 minutes, even though it's called the Mindful Minute.
Well, you get one good mindful minute.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
within the 15.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's kind of guided meditation for people who,
Impatient people.
me.
Yeah.
or people who are inexperienced with meditation.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Want that guiding voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Following along with the theme, because again, when I am stressed and need to calm down, I cannot take in large portions of information. I'm going to go back to The Savvy Psychologist, which has been rebranded. It used to be called The Savvy Psychologist Quick and Dirty Tips for Better Mental Health, but that is really long.
You did well to get it all out though.
Yeah, that was
Thanks.
great
Thanks.
work.
There was a burp coming up, so I had to get
Get
it
a
out
go, go, go.
before the burp came. They call it psychology for the rest of us. And it's just kind of, 5 to 10 minute episodes, really like not even quite bite sized. This is just like a moose bouche of podcasts. And it's Dr. Monica Johnson takes the science of psychology and makes it relatable and entertaining. All of the episodes have the names of what you would want to find out, so you can scroll through and go, I need to know about this today. 5 minutes, get up and go. I find it useful to listen to in the morning if there's something I particularly want to focus because it sets me up for my day.
Awesome.
Yes, and it's like evidence-based research and explaining the why behind different emotions and stuff like that, so you can go, oh, that's why I'm completely messed up today.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, on my way. The last one is a podcast that is not helpful for me, but it's helpful for other people because it is for kids. It is called the Peace Out Podcast by Bedtime FM. So it's short stories that help children calm down and relax by guiding them through visualization and breathing exercises without them realizing that they're being guided through visualization and breathing exercises.
Haha, take that, stupid kid.
Dumb idiots.
So it kind of helps parents or teachers who want to teach mindfulness or emotional self-regulation, which is really important, like when kids are having meltdowns and stuff like that. And they're interesting stories, so it kind of ropes the kid's mind in before they realize it's been roped in. They release fortnightly, and it's narrated by Chanel Sang and produced by Rob Griffiths, and it is amazing.
Awesome.
And like I did want to include a fifth podcast in there, but you want to hear what I have to say about it on next week's reviews. So if that might give you a bit of a hint of what I thought of one of your podcasts, because it was helpful and calming. So tune in next week if you want to hear that. Up until then, you can send in any of your podcasts if you want them to be considered for particular themes that we might do in a tiny sode. Let us know. Say
we are in a position where we need ideas for themes for next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So if you've got theme ideas, contact us on any of our social medias or go to that'snotcanon.com/castology if you want to recommend a specific podcast. Until then, this has been a tiny sode, a Lizcast tiny sode on a podcast to help you calm your farm. We'll see you next week.